point about PDP, back to good stead and all of that. Well, there's the big issue of the November convention, which particularly your good friend, Minister Wike, is saying that if his directives are not followed, that there will be trouble. And that in fact, people thinking of President Jonathan coming back as flag bearer of the party, they may be preparing the battleground for serious crisis within the PDP. But let's start from Rivers, and then we'll move to the party itself.
Well, I have personal reasons to be grateful to God that the situation in Rivers State is eventually, coming to a very peaceful resolution, which I thought in the first place, I told you that there was no reason for this to have happened in the first place. Because I had always said that we don't operate democracy in this country. What we operate is, civil rule. Tell me how many people in this country, since you got matured politically, that have come out of their own desire, with their own financial support, and started either as councillors or chairmen of local government or members of state houses or assembly, or national assembly or governor or president. There's always some tendency for you to cling on the apron string of some people. And that is the danger of the style of democracy we are holding here, because you don't have an independent opinion. But what happens in this country is that people continue licking the boost of other, or whom they call their godfathers, and as soon as they see power and money, they say, to hell with you. And this is what causes crisis in most of the time. Because a Nigerian, typical Nigerian man, regards everything he does as business. And they put millions and millions of naira, and sometimes dollars, into this business of governance. And that is why nothing works. Because you get into office, instead of helping to develop your environment, you continue sharing or paying back to those who have made you to get into where you are. And once you look and see that not enough is left for you to really do some job, you still remaining. That's why nothing is going on. Go through, 6 months ago, I went through about 17 states in this country. And Dr. Abati said, pity for you to watch a governor going to work. A governor leave government house to attend a function in the same city, and there will be about 40 vehicles on a convoy, following him. Do you know the amount of money that is spent in that kind of movement? And they don't care. Nobody's interested. So our problem is so fundamental that it requires some reassessment of values, if we have any. People come from rural areas. I haven't seen the son of any big man, either Awolowo or Zeke or Bara or Ahmadu Bello, that is governor. So incidentally, it means that the children of very poor people from very poor environment somehow manage to be members of houses of assembly, national assembly, governors. Why is it that when they enter office, they hate their people so much that they can't even provide water, ordinary water? How do you look at that kind of situation? So sometimes you want to give up, and I don't think that giving up solves the problem, So when I was in PRP, 1979, I was a national advisor to Malam Aminu Kano. I was just as vibrant as Rufai, my friend, is. But somebody called me to say that Nigeria is not a function of statistics. That was why Zeke said in 1974 that ethnicity should become, a national instrument, an instrument for national unity, if people will accept that. Because if I recognize that you're from Edo, I'm from Anambra, you're from Sokoto, I will understand the differences of your people, and we put these differences together to understand each other and use it for national development. But once we use ethnicity as a basis of divide and rule, opportunism, then nothing works. All right. So that's what I would say, that PDP is part of a Nigerian system, and all persons who come there want to have an advantage for their people's, gain. And in doing that, we forget that authority rests on regimented formality, that, if you combine political ignorance with unresolved, unresolved grievances, then they have political blindness. Right. We have to have an understanding that we are one people, difficult to, but we have to try to do that. Okay. That, I have known you, Dr. Abati, for how long now? You called me on telephone when you were working with Goodluck Jonathan. We didn't know ourselves. From then we become friends because we have an understanding And each time I came to see Jonathan, and I asked him, why do you always invite me? He said he invited me because I have the courage to tell him the truth. In this country, nobody wants to listen to the truth. Sometimes they think you are doing some mago-mago when you tell people the truth. You tell people what they want to hear, and still they continue collapsing. That is where we are today. I hope my colleagues in political offices, as governors or whatever they are, should start to remember the Nigerian people. We have no other hope but ourselves to help us. I'll be happy if he joins PDP, because he will bring his credibility to bear on the party as we are reorganizing. I mean, he's not a name you want to introduce in Nigerian politics. Any party that has him today, we know that they have already made more than 30-40% of the election, because he has tremendous support across this country.
Okay, Mr. Danulasi, I'm happy you're talking about Peter Obi. I remember we had a bet the last time, and empirically I'll prove to you, sir, that I won that bet. I put it to you, I won that bet. You said, this was your words, not mine, that showed me a video.
That was not the opinion of those who watched us.
No, hang on a minute. Wait, let me finish. Mr. Danulasi.
You know what people said?
I'm a man of facts.
Okay,
let me land.
Go on.
Your words, not mine.
Okay,
you will resign from the PDP if I can show you videos of you criticizing Peter Obi in the past. In fact, I have too many videos of you criticizing. In fact, not only me, Ose Aneni, Chief Aneni's son, also brought out some videos of you criticizing Peter Obi in the past. If you want, maybe you can send your number to your producer to me. Please. Through our producer to me, and I will forward you those videos. But wait, I've not even landed on my question.
Yeah, information, please. Yes. Information in all communication. Once I say information, you give me a few seconds.
Yes, please.
When we had that discussion, I told you that I criticized Peter Obi on one serious occasion when he left PDP and went to Labour Party. I still mentioned it, and you forgot to say that. I mentioned it in our discussion. Mr.
Danulasi, the videos of our conversation are there. People will watch and judge. But let me move on to my real question. Anyway, I have a lot of... Let me move on to my real question. You are now saying that this is the same Peter Obi that you are saying that if he runs today, he has 30 to 40% of the country. Correct me if I'm wrong, or maybe you said it just now. Maybe I didn't hear well. Or maybe I have to remove anything in my ear. He said it just now, right?
That's what I just said, yes.
But I want to read a newspaper caption to you, where you said, where you warned the Igbo people leading up to the last election, that voting for Peter Obi in 2023, you said during Akaka that he has no strong political base and will fail woefully in his presidential bid. He said Peter Obi will succeed in securing the Igbo bloc vote from traders. He said this vote will not be enough to make Obi president, and he could set the Igbo voters up for attack for opposition. But the word I want you to underline there is that he will fail woefully. So how come a man that you said will fail woefully, but that got over 6 million votes, that won Lagos, which is not only an Igbo voting area, and won some other parts of this country, is not the one you are saying that if he joins the PDP. And which PDP do you want him to join? This PEM PDP you people claim is finished, that Wike rules now. And you are saying you want to... It's not a political suicide. Don't you people just want to destroy him politically by luring him to the PDP? That's my question for you, sir.
Well, this is not a question. It's a lecture you have just delivered.
Yes, it's a question. Don't you people want to kill him politically by saying he should come?
Excuse me. You see, you're becoming violent also in your speech. Why don't you ask a question, you make a clarification, and allow me to make a comment? This is exactly what you did in the last interview. Your views must always prevail. I have a reason as some person you're questioning to give my views. And my views might not always be correct. That's why I'm a human person. What I said in that interview you're making reference to is that Igbo votes alone will not make Peter be president. And I would not have to make a presentation as if an Igbo man running for president. He's running for president from an Igbo extraction. That was the explanation I was trying to make in that interview. And anybody who comes out to run for presidency of this country does not come out telling us I'm a Yoruba man, I'm an Igbo man, I'm a Fulani man, calling for his people's vote. That will come in situ. So that is the explanation in that interview you are making reference to. So if the paper you are quoting did not represent what I said properly, it's unfortunate. I don't know which paper you are quoting. But all I have said is that in the past, we were with Peter Obi in PDP, and he ran as our vice presidential candidate. We attended a meeting with him in Oka, where he told our people that he was going to run for presidency. And not long after that, he left us without consultation and joined the Labour Party. People were bound to be annoyed. That's what I was saying in my interview. And that involved criticism, that you must be able to have some principles of relating to those you are working with. About 3-4 weeks ago, he was in my house in Enugu, and we are discussing the same thing. I say, in all things you do, give proper information and communication to those you are discussing with. Don't take anybody for granted. Because people have laid a lot of, sacrifices, a lot of resources down in this journey. Rufai, that was what I was saying exactly. And in such doing, you have to criticize. Politics is about criticism, even if it's your brother or your mother running. But it doesn't have to be, maligning somebody's character. No.
My question to
you have to point out what shortcomings somebody has, especially if it's not working with you anymore.
Very good. My question to you is, aren't you people leading Peter Obi to a slaughter slab by calling him to come and join a PDP that Wike has pretty much taken over and prevails over? That's my question to you. Aren't you people deliberately leading him to a slaughter slab?
Well, yes, I'm coming to that. I'm coming to that. You see, when you make a statement that Wike has taken over PDP, he hasn't taken me over. He's my friend. I have serious disagreements with him when we don't agree. Even in the national executive meeting we attend, we had 2 national executive meetings in the past 2 months. There are a lot of people who don't support him. And he knows that. There are a lot of people, the national chairman doesn't support him. He might be friendly with some of us, but the national chairman hasn't left his seat as national chairman of PDP to go running after Wike. Wike wants to be in control, but I had told him, you cannot be working for an APC government and try to tell us what we do in PDP. One will have courage to tell a friend that one. It does not stop him from doing what he wants to do. And until we have a convention, what we're having in November is what we call mini convention. There will be no election. There will be no offices sought for, so that we don't create any problems before our major convention next year to bring out a presidential candidate. It is only when next year comes, because Wike had already said that he will support Tinubu in 2027. He will remember the futility of that statement when the convention comes next year, and we want to bring out a candidate and he interferes.
Chief,
then you will see that what I'm telling you exactly is correct.
Chief Ulasi, I asked you,
yes,
you are now focusing on Wike. Now, the PDP had a 119-member committee led by Governor Fintiri of Adamawa State, where the decision was taken to zone those positions. And there was a report indicating that, okay, so positions have been zoned this way. The bone of contention from the Wike group is that they are saying that the next chairman, substantive chairman of the party, should come from the North Central, and that there should be no micro-zoning. Whereas other leaders of the party say, no, there's nothing wrong with micro-zoning for us to have peace within the party. Where do you stand?
Well, I said, I thought I mentioned something like that when I started commenting initially, that in the next meeting we had, we said, if we have a contestable convention this November, the time is so short, it will bring a lot of, animosity within us. So we just do a normal midterm convention without running for any office until next year. So between now and next year is a long period of time. Like the party has zoned presidency to the south, it is likely, most likely, that next year the chairmanship of the party will come from the north. Which part of the north the party will also decide. These are not constitutional matters of Nigerian constitution, but these are the discussions you have to, bring, some kind of understanding within the party. There's nowhere in the Nigerian constitution that is specifically mentioned about zoning, but it talks about national representation, national interest, which means that every part of this country should be given an opportunity to be part of the system. That is what it means. No part of the country will take presidency and you take a governor, you take a vice president, you take speaker, you take a president of Senate. That would be unfair. That's what I'm saying, I'm talking about.
Thank you very much, Chief Daniel Lassie. Thank you for joining